Okay, so this is video number 10. Pretty happy today. I've been working on this front end for quite a few days. Got this landing craft front door on here, and I made 8 hinges. Some people only put 3 on. I put 4 on each side. Really happy with the way it came out. It was definitely not easy by myself. That piece of metal is 1/4 inch, and just big and heavy, you know, hard to do by yourself. So super happy with it. I let the door come past a little bit. A lot of guys this will be on the inside of this, but I let it come past it about 2 inches on each side. Now what's going to be on the inside of this is a pocket, you know, that another piece of flat bar will go into, and that's what creates a watertight pocket. So I don't have that material right now, so I can't make that pocket. So I just decided to let it come past it on each side and go ahead and put that flat bar on the outside to give it some strength, and until I can get that metal and go ahead and finish it. That door is 5 foot tall, and it's 1/4 inch and just under 8 feet wide. So looking at the bottom of the boat here, these hinges were time consuming. This stuff that's the little stuff always takes the longest. These hinges are all 1/4 inch, and I used 5/8 bolts on them, and put 4 on each side like I said. So I'm going to set this thing down. I'm going to lower this front end, and hopefully you can still see everything fine. Let me jump in here and set this down real quick so you get a look at it. So there it is, and obviously it'll go all the way down to the floor. It'll go down to the ground. Just have it on the blocks there. So I got this this C channel. It's this stuff here. It's a 2x6 C channel. That's typically what you use on your transom to mount your motors, your outboard motors too, and stuff like that. But it makes a good stiffener for something like this. So I have that one on there, and there'll probably be 5 more going this way lengthwise. I think what I'm going to do on this front door is just put all the stiffeners on the inside, because I like how smooth it looks on the outside. You could do it either way, but I just kind of like how smooth it looks on that outside. And so let me jump up in here and give you a little bit different view. I look at my videos over and over again, and you know, most of you out there are smart enough to realize that when I say something or misspeak, you've figured it out already. I guess those are dumb enough not to figure it out. It's not going to bother them anyway. Talked about these boxes. That box over there is going to have the rope in it, not the actual crab pots and stuff like that. You know, I had said that in another video, but I just kind of misspoke. It's going to have all the line. You know, we're talking about 500 feet of line, and on this box over here, it's going to have the anchor line and stuff. And, you know, we're talking about 100 feet of chain and, you know, 500 or 600 feet of rope. So I kind of misspoke, and like I said, I watch my videos over and over, and I watch other people's videos that I like also, just to pick up little things I Didn't pick up the first time I seen it, but I want to talk a little bit today about some mistakes that I've made with this boat. You know, a boat that's this long, 40 feet, sorry about that. A boat that's 40 feet long like this, I didn't make a jig for the bottom of the boat to sit on, and looking back on it now, I definitely should have. A jig is just a fixture that you can bolt or tack weld the bottom of this boat to keep it flat and true. And in this case, turning around, I got the trailer built right here. So I should have, used that trailer frame, and you build it into the shape of the bottom of the boat, and then you would screw or bolt some aluminum flat bar down the length of it, of the trailer frame, which is your jig, and then you tack weld the bottom of the boat to that. That keeps the bottom of the boat from doing anything weird. So when you put your stiffeners in, you're not having to tweak the bottom of the boat up or down to get your stiffeners to lay flat. And I didn't do that. So if you look back at other videos, you can see I had a piece of the I-beam, going across the boat, and I had these straps, and I was actually having to pull the bottom of the boat up just so the I-beams would lay flat, and caused myself a lot of work that I didn't have to do, shouldn't have had to do, just because these I-beams, they wouldn't lay flat. And looking back on it now, a 40-foot long boat, definitely would have been worth it to do the trailer frame type jig underneath it, because that would have kept the bottom of the boat really flat and true, and all of these I-beams, they would have just laid down super flat, and you just start welding. But instead, I worked myself to death to try and pull the bottom of the boat up where it had some gaps where the I-beams were laying, to close up the gaps, because when you're going to weld it full length, or just anyway, just you don't want any gaps there. All of these are welded full length. Talked about that quite a bit. But in the other video, the last video, I had talked about this walk around and that rub rail that's down on the side there, and these boxes that are up front. And so let's back up. You start the boat, you put it on a jig like that boat frame out there, and then when you're done with the boat, that jig can be your trailer. So it kills two birds with one stone. So I got all, doing these I-beams and stuff, and created a lot of work for myself, because the bottom of the boat wasn't completely flat from just walking on it and this and that. It has a six inch rise from the center to the outside edge. So it was laying on the floor, and you're walking on that, so you're dipping it, and you're no longer a flat, your sheets aren't flat, they're starting to get dipped. So that was probably the first mistake I made. The bottom of the boat should have been secured to a big jig. A little 20-foot boat, not near as important, but a 40-foot boat, that's a lot more length. And bottom line, save yourself some pain, and just make a jig, and then later on you can use it as your trailer. And then the next mistake was when I put my sidewalls on. They were great. They were nice and flat, running true all the way down, and I didn't put the walk around on. I should have put this 6-inch walk around on. I should have put that rub rail on down the length, and all you have to do is tack weld that stuff every 6 inches, and that keeps the shape. And that's what it's all about. Get that stuff on there before you go crazy welding the bottom of the boat, because that last video I showed you, that's why I had quit working on the bottom of the boat, and I did this walk around, I did the box, and I did the rub rail to get those things back into shape. You want to keep the bottom of the boat and the sides going down the length of the boat as flat as possible. And you know, my sidewalls got a little bit wavy on me. I talked about it on the last video, and that's kind of why I'm talking about it extensively here, because, you know, I'm not happy with it. I'm not, you can see that rub rail, you can see it's dipped in right there. Nothing I can do about it at this point. You know, I should have put that rub rail on a long time ago when these sidewalls didn't have any wave in them. As soon as I put them on, I should have tacked, you know, I should have tacked that rub rail on. I should have went ahead and built these boxes up front. And I should have went ahead and put that walk around all the way around to keep that top edge flat. So save yourself some trouble and try and remember those things, and so will I in the future. I mean, you know, this boat is for myself, but if you were building a boat for a customer, you know, it might be pretty hard to sell the boat to them when you know, you got a little bit of wave going on. And even on this side, you can see that rub rail, it dips in a little bit, and it's a drag. You know, it is upsetting because I try and do everything to the best of my ability, and I want it to be perfect, and then boom, you make mistakes. So that's maybe hard to sell that to a customer. If you want to get, you know, 300 grand for a boat, you're talking about it needing to be perfect. People see things like that and they're already trying to Jew you down. I think that if you were having somebody build you a 40-foot boat like this with the cabin on it, just the hull, not even any electronics, probably not even any outboard motors on it, you know, you're talking about $200,000, maybe $300,000. It's a 1/4-inch bottom, 4-foot sides, 3/16 on the sides, and it's 12-foot beam. Boats are super expensive. The reason I try and build these things myself right now and in the past is because I don't have that kind of money. I'd never have a boat like this if I was thinking about having somebody build it for me. There's just no way. Right here in my shop, I started out with 21 sheets of metal, which was $21,000 worth of metal. And I have about 5 sheets of 3/16 left, and I have 2 sheets of 1/8 inch by 6 foot wide by 20 foot long over there. The 3/16 is also 20 foot long. The 1/8 inch I'm going to use for dinghy. I call it a dinghy, but it's probably going to be about a 16-foot little boat and a 40-horse motor on it. But as far as the 2 outboards on the back, as far as money goes, I've seen those at a guy in Florida online for anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000. You can get a couple of pretty nice counter-rotating outboard motors with pretty low hours on it, and even up to a 30-inch shaft for the ocean, which is, you know, better than a 20-inch shaft, just because it gets your motors further away from the water and you're not drowned in them, you know, in big seas. Just the longer shaft is better. But I really like this front door. Pretty cool. Turned out super good, you know, for doing this by myself today. I'm super happy with it. And you know, by putting that edge on there, that flat bar standing on edge, it's already trying to keep its shape. You know, I'm trying to keep it from warping out. And like I said, I'll probably have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more pieces of this 2x6 going this way. And then I'll just tack weld that stuff on for right now, and I won't have to worry about this front door bowing on me or getting out of shape. As far as these 2 boxes up front, the piece of metal that I cut out of there, I'm going to cut in half and have 2 doors there. I want to do some kind of pattern where I have holes in those doors, because it's going to be a lot of rope inside there on both of these, and I don't want it to you know, be airtight. I want it to be able to breathe and not, you know, stink a whole bunch or mildew or anything like that. So these doors, I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet, but the doors I put back on here, I want to, I need ventilation. I need ventilation in these boxes. I can't just box them up and let it be airtight. And these boxes took 2 or 3 days to weld. It was a real pain in the ass. It's only about 1 foot deep right there, but try and cram your body and your helmet and everything in there to weld that all the way around the inside was a real pain. Like I said in my other video, I wanted to put this outside piece on last and weld everything inside first, but you know, when you have these warpage issues, it would have took forever. I mean, you know, would have worked out maybe if I did 1 or 2 inch long welds, and, you know, but then we're talking about a week later, it's done. You know, I try and do 6 inch long welds, and sometimes even that's too long just because the heat. So I put these boxes together with this outside piece on, cut the hole in it, and then I had to get inside there and weld all that, and was not easy. You know, none of this stuff is easy. So the warpage issues is definitely something to consider anytime you're doing anything like this. And I also wanted to talk about this for a minute. This outside corner right here, I just couldn't get a good looking weld on there and have them all tied in. So, you know, I ground it off smooth, and if it's ugly, I'm gonna do that every time. The thing is if you're doing something like this, you want to weld the outside, weld the inside, and then grind the outside. You don't want to just weld the outside, grind it all down, and then try and weld the inside of it, because you'll blow right through, because when you grind this off, there's no more metal there. There's no more weld there to absorb that heat. So weld the inside, weld the outside, and then grind it. Just a little note for you. So I guess you've noticed I haven't done anything with the bottom of the boat. I really am not looking forward to putting that flat bar in there. I got to box all this in. I got to put flat bar across going this way on maybe 16-inch centers, and it's coming down to I'm gonna have to start doing it pretty quick. I just wanted to do these other things to control the warpage issues, and I got to get back to the bottom of the boat and do that. That's definitely a 4 or 5 day project there, but once I have the flat bar standing on edge and this is all boxed in, the entire bottom of the boat will be done. And then, you know, I can get to welding this walk around. All of those triangles need to be welded inside, outside, and then probably this outside corner again will be ground off right here, just because that's probably the toughest. That's the toughest weld for MIG. It would be nice to TIG weld that, but unless you're really good, it's very difficult to tie all those in on that outside corner right here and make it look good. So that's the reason why on these boxes, you know, I ground it off because it was ugly right here. Okay, so I guess I'm just rambling now. It's a 18-minute video, so it's video number 10. Thanks for watching.